This is my culture project on the Mexican culture. So my first indigenous culture aspect is clay ceramics, also known as talavera, and it's a prime example of folk culture due to the fact that ceramics is something that is widely made in Mexico, which is primarily known as talavera, and it's the most dominant craft in Mexico. And historically, ceramics were considered one of the highest forms of the Aztec Empire. And going into a little bit more depth, talavera is really important to Mexico because it's a high quality decorative clay pottery type that is recognized usually by its strong colors and different patterns, creating traditional and different designs. And this is important to me because not every piece of pottery is the same, showing that although everyone is different, each one is still valuable and also very vastly different. Up next, I have Dia de los Muertos, which is also an example of indigenous slash folk culture. And this is a multi-day holiday which involves families and friends gathering together to celebrate and pay respects to to the life of a loved one. This celebration is celebrated both November 1st and 2nd that draws on pre-Hispanic Mexican and Spanish Roman Catholic traditions intended to facilitate the return of departed souls to the earth. Flowers, butterflies, and skulls are typically used as symbols, and the cempasúchil, a type of marigold flower, which is seen all down here in yellow and orange in the photo, which is native to Mexico, is often placed on ofrendas and around graves. Additionally, usually make ofrendas for the deceased, which usually contain food that people enjoyed, skulls, and pretty much just any color that the person enjoyed. And I feel like this is important to me so that I can bond with family and friends while still respecting deceased that I may have not had a lot of time to be with throughout my lifetime. Next up, we have piñatas, and which are just decorated paper mache shapes or characters, such as like geometric shapes. This is a traditional piñata at the bottom left, at the bottom right. They are usually filled with candy, fruit, and gifts, and are hung up to be broken with sticks by blindfolded people as part of Latin American festivities at Christmas or for birthday parties or other places. And traditionally in Mexico, especially during Christmas, they are filled with fruit and candy such as guavas, oranges, jicamas, pieces of sugarcane, tecotes, and wrapped candies. Some piñatas are trap filled with like flour, confetti, or water just so it can make like a huge mess. And this is important to me because ever since I was young, my parents have always like had one or more piñatas during my birthday party, which always helped me realize that the Mexican culture is very different than American, despite Mexico only being a little over 2,000 miles away. And something that is additional is that on a traditional piñata, like the one on the bottom right, you is based on the seven deadly sins. Next, I have mariachi music, and this is also indigenous culture, and it is a genre of regional Mexican music that dates back to at least the 18th century, evolving over time in the countryside of various regions of western Mexico. They celebrate people's struggles, joys, and growth, and often present at important events and celebrations in the lives of the Latino people. It is common to listen to mariachis at baptisms, weddings, on holidays, and even at funerals. Traditional groups made up of two or more members wear regional costumes adapted from the charro costume and interpret a broad repertoire of songs on stringed instruments. And this is important to me because I almost always see mariachis pretty much everywhere in Mexico, and I hope to see them when I go to Mexico during winter break. And it's also important to me because of like the costuming. Now I'm going onto my pop culture. So I have music of pop, and whether intentionally or not, pop music reflects the ideals and lives of innovative and exciting, forward-thinking people, forcing them to go through a catchy chorus, irresistible beat, or bold gimmick, and rhythms almost always make people sing along and dance with lyrics and the beats of the music. Also, pop music usually repeats its patterns, rhythms, and lyrics, as well as most of the songs revolve around the same themes and topics, such which can be anywhere from political to something that's really specific just to the artist. All this makes pop a popular genre among all, and this is important to me because this is the type of music I listen to today, and knowing that this is widely diffused to other places around the world is important to me because I know that maybe I'm not gonna be the next generation, but I know that my kids might be. Next up, I have hamburgers, and there's just like something different about the taste of a burger that than other meals just don't offer. Because it not just satisfies your taste buds, but can also be part of a satisfying meal or even just a much needed snack. And this is important to me because my whole family now likes hamburgers and usually cook them during barbecues or parties. And it also has a place in my heart due to the fact that this food can be changed with different ingredients so that each burger has a unique look and taste to it. Next up, I have video games, and the video game culture is a worldwide new media culture formed by video gamers. And video games have exponentially increased in popularity over time, and they have a significant influence on pop culture. Video game culture has also evolved with the internet culture and the increasing popularity of mobile games. Many things that have impacted mainstream culture in the 21st century, but video games are top of the list. Video games are important to me because they can bring people together, although they might not be sitting next to each other.